Welcome to Unloose the Goose, episode 62. We are recording live the night before Thanksgiving. Is everybody feeling thankful today?
We're so appreciative.
So appreciative. We've got on today Neethi, the pharmacist, John Dowie, Brian Norton, and I'm Nicole Sauce. So we got two girls, two boys, well balanced today. It's like we got yin and yang going on. Let's start with the most important thing. We are going to talk about taking action as an agorist and what that looks like. And we're also going to talk about gratitude because it's an important part of this week for many of us in our home lives. But first, and most importantly, what are you drinking? Brian, what are you drinking?
It is a Monsoon Malabar light roast mixed with a, what do I have? Organic Nicaraguan dark roast.
Yep. So the coffee roaster has something fancy.
It's 38 and raining.
John Dowie, what do you got?
I got a Dr. Pepper Zero.
Okay, the diabetic has a Dr. Pepper Zero.
And a Kit Kat bar right
now. What do you got?
I'm drinking water, you guys, today.
Drinking water. She's keeping it simple. I've got this awesome mug that Haley made for me.
Look at that.
She gave it to me, as I understand it, these are going to end up on a merchandise store somewhere on our site, Unloose the Goose. But I was going to have rum tonight. I decided tequila because it looked like the rum bottle, and I didn't read the label. And here I am, going down the path. So that's what we. It's a good sip in tequila. Very good.
Listen to the Fish song, Mexican Sister.
So we're going to start with open discussion, and Neethi brought up her "I'm so sad" thing. So tell us why are you sad, Neethi?
I'm so sad because I was really wanting to be at Jack's this year, and everybody got to go, and I didn't get to go, and it's just not fair, and I just feel sad. I missed all the fun, and I'm just feeling like kind of left out, guys. Honestly.
Yeah. What are you going to do to fix that?
The best part of sorry, Nicole. The best part of going, but not going for 4 years since 2017 was the not going part helps you.
It was 2016 that you went, wasn't it? Or was it 17? Spring 17. Okay. Yeah.
Not going, being too busy to go and having to listen to it and watch it online, and then being able to go. Trust me, it'll make your wave bigger. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just, for me, I mean, we went through so much chaos with COVID that I'm in a space where I don't have all my ducks in a row. I don't have enough coverage. I have construction. I've got all this stuff going on. So I can't really be gone for any real length of time. And I would have booked flights this summer under normal circumstances. But, with all the crazy, I was like, no. Yeah. And then because ideally I would like to just drive there and be there for the week or whatever, or make some stops in several places in Texas and, then come back. But anyway, it was not in the cards for me this time. But he won't be able to keep me away in the future.
Yeah. So. And you can come to my spring workshop at the end of April.
It sounds like a threat.
Me and you, I think, are going to be doing something together in January, maybe also again in February.
February 21st, Self-Reliance Festival. Yep.
So I will definitely be seeing some Nicole. Maybe we're going to see the rest of you. I don't know who else we will see there. I also am wanting everyone to come here. So I'm working on getting my space in order so we can be ready.
Awesome. Well, I think the things that is most important about these small gatherings, these workshops that we do, are that we develop real lasting relationships. Like, I would have never met John Dowie had I not gone to Jack Spirko's workshop. I would not have a coffee business if I had not met Brian in 2017, right? And now we're doing this holiday offering where it's a pound of his and a pound of mine. It's going to be super exclusive. None of that would have happened. And it's all about getting out in person. But you know what? You can't go to everything all the time because there's also a reality on balance, right? And that's something. So I understand you feel sad that you missed it, and we missed you. But we'll see you in a future one, and maybe you'll get to speak or something. That'd be kind of cool too, because you're a tornado, as I understand it.
Yeah, I've been called lots of things like that. Yep. Hurricanes, tornadoes. I mean, I just know that y'all, I did miss it. It sucks. But today we're about to talk about getting things done, right? Isn't that the topic? And
taking action, yeah.
Taking action. I've been over here working my little booty off. I have a deadline, a goal to be done before Christmas. In which case I get to launch all
your things
creation in January.
Woohoo!
I feel like, when you're working on something and you're like almost there and you're almost there and you're almost there. And I'm just like, feel like that, like just about to erupt. So
that's cool.
John, and then I was watching you guys all down there, and then I was like, I want to be there too. Anyway, sorry.
I know. John, open discussion. Any topics on your mind right now?
I'm super busy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on anymore. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm up against it for winter now up here in the Great White North.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, man. This week
he's frozen. Is he frozen?
No, am I?
No. That's just your internet.
I have super good internet here.
Yeah.
So I pay way too much for it. So no, I'm just like, I'm installing a heater so I can have a third source of heat at my place. I'm like doing all kinds of farm winter prep stuff and trying to like cover my duck pen. I just found out that I know this isn't like the farm show, but I knew I had crows stealing my eggs all season, because this is the first year I haven't had a cover over my overnight pen because it broke and shit. So I'm working on fixing that. And yesterday, I think the crows migrated, and all of a sudden I didn't have 0 eggs because it's the end of the year. They're not laying much anyway. I had 12, and I was like, oh, great. The crows eat $11 worth of eggs every day. So I'm working on that. And then I just got a bunch of, like, it's just a pile of stuff all the time, and business is super busy. And yeah, that's where I'm at. And I went to Jack's. I think I got a little too into it after hours. I have a thing where I go to Jack's. I always say I'm going to go and learn a whole bunch of new shit. It's going to be great. And then I stay up too late and have a few extra, like, I don't know, 12 or 13 too many pops. And then I show up at noon the next day. I just keep doing that. And then I realized I like Jake Robinson was like, did you see my presentation? And I was like, I don't know, man. I walked in and you were talking about irrigation, and I left. And I don't know what's going on. So I probably should have gotten more out of it. I had a good time, but it's the only one I get
to go back and watch the sessions. They were all live.
Yeah. It's the only one I get to go to, though. So, like, kind of what she was talking about, Needy was talking about it with feeling left out. Like, I never get to go to Nicole's thing because it's in the worst time of the year for me, with the spring and just like business ramping up. And so I always go, oh, I'm gonna make it to that. I can drive down in my van and sleep on an air mattress in that thing and all this. And then
you're like, it's April.
Yeah, March rolls around and I'm like, oh my God, there's no way. So it's just, yeah. But that's what's going on in my world. I'm just naturally self-imposed busy all the time.
Okay, that is the curse of the entrepreneur. It's a curse that can be broken. Brian Norton, what's on your mind this week?
Oh, Dowie. When you go to a festival, you just got to give yourself permission to festival.
Festival.
Yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed meeting Dr. Barry. He kind of like meeting him in person, hearing that I'm on the right path. That kind of reconfirmed that. Just seeing everybody was great. I spent 3 days in a hammock in a tree in the front yard, and I decided I really, really like hammock camping.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got a 0 degree bag, and then we stopped at Walmart, and I spent $11 on a blue close self pad, and I didn't even actually zip the sleeping bag till the last day. So minimizing. Yep. So I went from a 24-foot camper to a camper to a mini camper to now I think F it. If it can't fit in my carry-on, I don't need it. Yeah. So super fun festival.
Simple living.
So, yeah, you know what? And I went on a tear when we got home after listening to Chris, like cleaning out his world and like getting happier and just seeing the different human that he was after he tore through his world and changed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started cleaning at one end of the house and like I saw terror in the kids' eyes because I was throwing shit away. I was like, you better move it before I get to the next room because it's getting dumped on the floor and like it's going to the dump pile or getting put someplace, but not much is staying. So yeah.
Well, I came home and my mom had already started putting a pile of stuff of mine she thinks I should throw away to the side.
Yeah. Stuff is obligation. Just because you have to think about it or walk around it or clean around it. Holy shit, just let it go.
Yeah,
So,
well, it totally
my
did get me thinking. Like you go keto, and then you know what you don't eat anymore when you go keto?
Mm-hmm.
Bread.
A whole lot of
Anything
crap.
with flour. Who has
Everything
a
in the
wheat
pantry.
grinder? I have a wheat grinder. Oh no, I've already cleared the pantry. I have a wheat grinder. And I'm like, how many other things do I have that are supporting stuff I don't do anymore, or stuff I don't even like to do anymore? That it's just, well, it's useful, so I'll keep it.
How about a toaster?
There's a purge going on here too. That
I
totally
use my
happened.
toaster oven, John. So like my toaster oven is the microwave for my family because we don't use microwaves over here. So the kids put their meat patties and stuff in the toaster oven.
Yeah.
So we definitely use our toaster oven. But yeah, it is quite liberating because you get rid of so much crap.
Right?
What?
Huh?
It's like
What?
right sizing, not downsizing. Like
Oh yeah.
Right.
getting the right thing for the right thing and not having a bunch of extra shit.
I think the thing though is what I got from his presentation that I haven't gotten before because I have done a number of purges in the last 2 years is permission when I've gotten something and I've either moved on habit-wise or I just don't like doing it. Why am I keeping it? Just because it's not done? Because I don't want to be a quitter? Maybe I need to be a quitter sometimes.
Right.
Like, why keep that thing around? And then I looked at my tractor that I need to buy a $450 fuel pump for that so I can sell it. I'm like, I could just sell it for less money without the fuel pump.
Yeah, for $450 less.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or $800 less. I don't even care. Like, get it off my... Right now, though, it's being used to keep my event tent from blowing away. That's what it's being used for. It's a really expensive...
It's a tent weight.
Tent weight.
The questioning, why are you keeping things too, right? Somebody at Jack's was doing a pattern and I just stopped them for a second and was like, hey, who's telling you that? And they just, you could just see the reset switch in the brain. And I was like, oh, you're telling yourself that. Oh, okay. It's a choice. And I just like walked on. You could see.
Oh.
Yeah. So that too, getting rid of stuff, right? Like once you realize a pattern doesn't work, how long do you keep it? Like how long do you keep the old fridge? How long do you keep the old, like, oh, fuck, that doesn't work.
Or keep it because you can't get enough money for it. Well, how much money?
It costs too much money for, Yeah, it costs too much.
Sunk cost. That was Chris's realization, right? That it was all sunk cost for himself. And once he got down to garage sale pricing and shit, and then he got real and he made some changes.
I love Dowie's comment here. We had it, it broke, and then I had no time. That's my tractor.
Oh, I was talking about the chicken.
I know, you were talking about netting. I was like, hey, that fits this conversation.
Yeah,
everything.
Everything.
That
statement could probably apply to like 80% of my life anyway.
That is homesteading in a nutshell.
I had it, it broke, and I didn't have any time to fix that shit. So it just stayed. No, I'm like a lunatic about maintenance now. And actually, so this all kind of ties in. I had like health problems for a few years and a lot of things got let go. And speaking of crap, there was a time in my life where I was like, oh, I'm going to put like a kitchen together on my deck. Okay. And it'll be great.
It will be.
Okay. Then I went and got like free stove, a freezer, like so a bunch of shit. Right. Yeah. And it sat on my deck. Then I got sick and it sat on my deck for like 2 years. And all it did was rot the goddamn boards on my deck. Then I was feeling better. And I was like, I'm never going to do this. I got to get rid of this shit. So I got rid of the stuff. I felt good about that. But then I had done damage to the deck because of the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I became obsessed with maintenance at that point. So I'm like constantly in maintenance land because I like when stuff is broken, it's the worst. You know what I mean? Like it just sucks. So it just leads to other shit.
See,
so
I just started buying battery powered stuff because I don't maintain small engines so well.
Well, and I had to do that too. Like I stopped. I got rid of a pressure washer and went to an electric one because I only use it once a year, and I just keep it indoors where it isn't going to freeze. And then, like every time I buy a new piece of equipment, I do stop myself and go, "Can I get this battery powered or plug in even?" Because I don't need one more friggin' engine to maintain because I have like 20 already, so that's got to stop. It's a mess, but I don't remember what the point was.
That's okay. You're John Dowie. We don't need a point.
That's my thing.
That is your thing. So I've been thinking about the word of the year. Something we do in our community is we choose a word of the year to focus on for the whole year and hopefully move ourselves forward. And usually what ends up happening is the opposite of the word and the word if you really stay focused. So there's always a bad side and a good side of every word. My word this year was balance. So I was sick all day yesterday. Because why?
You were out of balance.
Because I worked my butt off for the last 6 weeks. I did like 5 events in 6 weeks and then like ended with this whole turkey processing thing. I don't know anybody how many of you have processed a 40-pound bird?
That's a lot.
Do 25 of them in one day and help people, and they like beat you with their wings. Like it's not an easy thing. I don't regret it at all, but it was physically demanding too. Like I was sore in my shoulders on Sunday from holding these birds, right? Got done and not astoundingly got a cold yesterday. And I'm looking at my wall where my word of the year balance is thinking, oh no, it's November. So I'm thinking about like the word of the year. And actually I have a better balance. On Fridays, I usually don't have to work afternoon. And I take that time to do other me things. But I'm deciding what next year's word should be. And that's a tough one. Have you guys ever like organized that way?
Next year's word should be chaos.
No.
Clarity.
I'll get it by the end of the year.
Make it clarity.
Nisi's, your word going to be clarity?
Clarity.
Or is it going to be launch? Nisi's word's going to be launch.
Is the word. I know, launch. It's going to be launch, actually. Yes, for me. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
John's word needs to be simplify.
Maybe
we should give each other words next week.
Oh. Yeah, John, you should shed some of that stuff, man. Shed it.
Brian, what word are you feeling? Unity?
Unity. That's what I think.
That's what he thinks. So
unity's good.
Yeah. Where I encourage people to think of this. My friend who kind of introduced this topic, I think her first word was heal or healing, and then connection. And it really, like, she used that as a focal point to really take control of her life and choose freedom. Nice. Downsize. We got TSL Homestead saying downsize. All right. Simplify. Downsize. There's a lot of words we can choose.
The convergence, right? As the chaos comes, you're going to have to, like, I think clarity is a good one too, right? Because things are going to get pretty clear of, like, which way the light is, and you should freaking move quickly.
My word of the year in 2020 was grow.
It was pivot.
Business went from like this to flatline in 2 weeks. I grew anyway.
Mine was like, okay, pivot. You remember that? What you call it, Friends?
Yeah, pivot.
Friends, the pivot episode. That was
Christine.
Yeah, adaptation. That's right.
You don't have to have whatever we do at New Year's. What are those things called? Resolution necessarily on the 1st. There's no reason to wait till the 1st to change your life, right?
No.
But having a cycle of evaluating how the past is gone and what you want to bring forward, I think is a really healthy thing to do.
Can my word of the year be dumpster fire?
That's probably good. Oh my gosh. Look at what
John's getting all fancy with his tools there. Dumpster fire. No, that's your word of 2021, right?
I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Oh man, nah, I don't know. I think you're right though about downsize, but I don't know, man. It's tough. I decided to downsize the flock, but it's like I'm not a guy that's going to go out and slaughter half my birds just because they're older or whatever. Because they're ducks. What am I going to do with them? I can't really eat them. They're too old. So I'm just kind of waiting for them to die off.
What do you mean they're too
Oh,
old
they're
so
not-
you can't eat
they're
it?
not
Because we
too old.
totally would stew those or
I have, like-
grind them.
I have like
We're all like, what?
I have.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Because obviously
$20
we
a
eat
pound.
Have you ever processed a 300 hybrid duck? It's
Wow.
like even when it's at its peak, it's like 3 pounds of meat.
Yeah,
And-
well, my khaki Campbells are like that.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
have like
They make stew.
40 that
They do
are
make good
7
stew.
years old. They're just done, and there's not anything left to. They produce fertilizer. That's what they do, but I don't know.
Nikki and I are like, what?
I'm
I
like,
could
I don't understand because I totally will stew that 3-pound bird and have gorgeous broth with fat and meat,
Yeah.
and we will just love it. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't understand what you're
We
saying.
just don't do
Nutrition
it.
for your baby, John. Nutrition for your baby.
We just don't. I don't know. We just don't do it. They're just out there. They're like pets. There's like 80 pets out there.
It's like they go from pets to fertilizer, and
Yeah.
like,
They cost feed money.
They
I'm
shit a lot.
evaluating some feed money here with the pigs right
Oh, it's a
now.
lot of money. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like, yeah, $400. No,
Yeah, where did
$600.
you get
a
free
month.
pig feed from?
And every bakery that throws their bread away.
All of my restaurants.
Yeah.
How
We were
could you-
thinking of delivering compost buckets to the restaurants here locally.
It
And
works
just
for me.
picking them up once a day or probably not once a day, but every couple days.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't want to feed our pigs pork, so we kind of have to think about how that works.
What's the ideal? Like, I have a restaurant that saves me vegetable scraps.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, I wouldn't mind feeding the pigs meat, beef or whatever. I just feel weird about feeding them their own meat. That's just me.
If you run into a decent restaurant for it, you can give them just basic parameters and just be like, look, just leftovers from prep and no meat. And they'll just be like, okay. They got to have a big enough cooler, though. You got to get a restaurant with a big walk-in cooler.
Yeah.
So they can
where they're willing to sacrifice that space. Because
the other thing is if we can get something close enough to get it once a day, which I live near some marinas, then they can say like, hey, we make pork with this, and then they could serve the pork, and it's low enough volume that all of it could work, but we'll see. I know a couple restaurant owners in the area, so that's the big important thing is, do you know the restaurant owner and do you have a relationship with them? Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think with the price of gas and time, finding somebody who drives near that restaurant and back to you every day as a thing they're doing already, and you're just to throw it along.
It has to be like on the beaten path. That's how all our stuff is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Crystal says we did barrels at the local fruit stand back in the day, but the workers would use it as a trash can too. It was such a pain. Yeah, so we have to have somebody who's willing to actually care about compost.
To sort it out and keep an eye on it also for sure.
Yeah.
I throw down like 30 gallons of vegetable scraps a week probably for my duck flock. They literally did not stop eating any feed.
Hey, there's a property for sale right down the road from me, John.
Oh yeah?
That's fun.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
I can't. I have no mobile income yet. So
Oh, okay.
What do we
I don't know how the microgreen mafia is in Tennessee right now.
Well, I'll have to talk to that family and see how it's going.
Yeah. Okay, taking action. So I just put this out there as a topic today. And the reason I put it out there is I'm getting a lot of questions about it's time to stand up. What do we do? We're agorists. We're supposed to agree to the non-aggression principle, but what's going on is bullshit. Like, how do we as agorists stand up for our freedoms, for other people's freedoms, for the communities we want to have, for the lives we want to live? That's kind of the basic premise for this. Anybody have an
you answered that, Nicole, in the thing. So because I was all lonely over here, so far away from everybody, then I got to see the talks. And because I was able to watch the talks, then I got a whole different thing out of it. And your best line in your talk that you gave was that what is the solution, or one of your big solutions was empowerment. So that's my favorite thing right now. Like, I'm so high on that. like, just empowering everybody. I mean, I was always saying, that we want to pour love over everyone and, but empowerment is really the word. And I love it. I love it. So how do we help? How do we make everybody change the narrative for themselves? I mean, like, I keep telling everybody, I'm like, I quit playing on other people's playgrounds. When you guys are being ugly, I'm just going to go off to my own playground. And if you want to come play with me, then cool. If you don't, I don't really care because I'm just creating my own world over here. And you should just come do that too. If you want, you can come play with me. You can create your own world. Like, we don't care. But as long as you're doing it with love, you're not causing harm, then dude, that is what you're supposed to be doing. And right now is a great time to do it. It's the best time to start whatever that is and, and invite people to come and just be very clear. Be real clear about it. Like, I mean, I'm very discriminating and I'm very specific and clear in letting people know, hey, yes, the clarity. Exactly. I'm all about the clarity. Like, I refuse to operate in chaos and confusion. And I don't want to be put in a situation where I have to explain or defend. If I have to explain or defend, I quit. Like, I'm not doing it. So, we're seeking freedom-loving patriots and people who are lovers of life. Pretty much. That's it.
Help your tribe. Okay. And the unity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make a decision. We all understand who is caging and killing humanity, who is spying, who is snooping, who is tax collecting, right? It's very obvious who those creatures are and what they are doing. The only thing that has ever worked in humanity is a general strike. It's an action. Now, when we decide to general strike, the 80-year-old neighbor next door who isn't working, she is not enslaving or killing anybody. I'll bring her food. I will help her. I will fix her toilet. I'll fix her electricity. I'll fix her car. I will give her rides. Now, the motherfucker that lives next to her, that's an IRS tax collector, he can burn in fucking hell. I will not bring him food. I will not fix his plumbing. When his house is getting around, I will set up a lawn chair and pop a fucking beer and start drinking again. So you have to decide.
Don't start drinking again. That was a hard battle.
In unity, integrity. We know who the people pushing forward with light and the right thing is. Ayn Rand said it. There is objective truth. When you see the right thing, you know it. Just like the fucking Supreme Court dude with the porno shit. When you see it, you know it. So, real easy. We all have different lines. Support those that are doing the right thing. The people that are not doing the right thing, let them go. We all have long COVID, right? If you work for one of them, maybe tomorrow you are just a dumb fucker with long COVID because that's their narrative. Let them die on it. I bet you're going to get an eighth of the work done tomorrow. I bet you're going to forget to put shit in that machine that costs $1 bajillion, right? Because you're just a dumb fucker that got the COVID and now you're a long COVID. So, it is what it is. Let the feedback loop feed itself back. Protect the people that are real, that are producing and creating light and not death. So if the fucker next to you goes to build star weapons to shoot lasers at kids on the other side of the world, maybe we don't fix his plumbing. Maybe not. So choice. Action.
I think that the clarity is going right back to that also because it's all clarifying, right? Like all these lies are distilling and they're all being, sorted out. It's all being sorted out, it's all falling away. All the bullshit is falling away. It can't sustain.
And somebody has to say it. Somebody has to be the adult in the effing room and stand up and say, children, we're done. Like,
I don't even know if you got to say that at this point. I mean, it's just what's happening. And people are like, what are we going to do? I mean, I was just talking with somebody who's like, but people are getting sick. People are dying. And I'm like, right, because you guys are not even you know,
The
you're
double
letting
jabbers definitely are, and they're going to start dying a lot quicker.
you don't even know
Right?
why you're dying or whatever. And I'm like, really? I'm like, first of all, they say to me, they go, well, we know that you don't really believe in the thing or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't say that there is a thing or there's not a thing. What I'm saying is that this is the moment in which, you know, it's all being taken to a whole nother level. And the other part of it is, guys, if you believe it, it's going to be true. If you believe it, whatever it is you believe, that's what's going to happen. It's true.
Here's a comment from TSL Homestead. More an observation. Making yourself more resilient, even in small ways, is taking action. And that's
Correct.
I just had a catch-up call with somebody I haven't talked to in about a year and a half who has changed their career to, I don't know what I'm doing next, but I know what I was doing isn't what I need to do. And he's like, I'm just going to let like it all sort itself out, whatever. And I know I need money and I'll figure out the money.
Yes.
But he's a prepper and has food put aside, knows how much money he needs, knows how to live simply with his family. Done. And then people make fun of him when he's prepared.
No.
Like, why do you have all that stuff we needed just now? Well, aren't you glad I had it?
Fun. Who are these people that have the audacity?
Yeah, well, they use your stuff and then they make fun of you and they're like, maybe you don't get to use my stuff next time.
I know. It's like, they don't know the whole thing about the don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, I mean, no. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth too, man. Just say thank you, move on.
You
John, what are your thoughts?
You don't
John
know
hasn't
what
talked yet.
Sorry, John, go.
What's all the
echo?
echo?
He's got both.
I made a list of shit that I can't read.
Go down.
So, no, I mean, so on the current events vein, I've noticed pattern recognition, right? Is that like, yeah, right now it seems like it's falling apart for one side of the one wing of the fucking bird of prey, and you know, the other wing is gonna gain some momentum and blah blah blah, and it's just that's gonna be the same thing again. I don't think the government is ever going to stop giving us opportunities to open people's eyes up to this shit, right? So even though it seems like the woke mob is like eating itself right now, and even like when I speak to my brother who's a communist, he's sick of it too in a way. He's like, he feels that they're unfocused and they're not like accomplishing anything because they're so nuts now, right? And that's probably on purpose. That's probably like a CIA plant or something. But
they realize they're being used.
But not to get off on that. I know we're solutions here, so who cares, right? I think doing what Nicole's doing and building the community thing is like the best thing you could be doing right now, because people are craving that, I think, in a way. Like the people that are like silently not accepting that thing into their life and are sick of hearing about the shit that's going on. They're looking for like-minded people to try to build, or at least they're just looking for like-minded people. I don't think they know what they want to do with it. And it's up to us, I think, to kind of, you know, bring them into the fold and show them what can happen when you build like a solid community. It's something I've been giving a lot of thought to up here in New Hampshire. Yeah. I know we have the Free State thing. I'm not very involved in that. I feel like I'm involved like by proxy with that because every time someone knows I'm from New Hampshire, they just ask me. And I know people in it, but I don't know. I know they have a good community thing going, but I know there's a lot of TSPers in my world up here. I guess it turns out there's probably a dozen of us or so. And it's like, I don't know what kind of distance Nicole has in her community between members, but
depends.
Yeah. I mean, they gotta be, you're not all like one house after another, right?
Well, we are 4 houses after another.
Yeah. And then
then there are people all over the state, and then we leave the state. And those are all inner circle.
Yeah. And that's what I want to kind of do in a way up here. So if anybody's in New Hampshire, reach out to me, john@dowiefarm.com. But I also, as Agoras, our number one goal is what? Work outside their system or use their system to take it down, right? So I'm just always looking for little ways to do that. Okay. And like, whether it's like develop something in the gray market or figure out a way to like, oh, I can use your stupid tax code to not pay you as much money, you horrible pieces of shit that are just going to use my money to bomb fucking brown kids in the sand. I'm all set with that shit. I'll keep my money and do something productive with it. So we have to do that. But I also think that we have to be willing to sacrifice in order to get there. Right. So if we're not going to participate, like speaking of what Brian was talking about, if we're not going to participate in certain things that are available in society that we might want to do in order to make a moral stand, like I have season tickets to the Buffalo Bills. They've decided I'm a second-class fucking citizen and I can't go there anymore. So I have people that are like, oh, you should just get a fake card. And I'm like, then I'm validating what they're doing. If I get a fake
exactly,
card, you know,
exactly,
I'm not,
John
yeah,
Galley. Thank
I'm
you.
not doing that.
You're
shit.
playing the game. If,
Yeah.
Thank
So
you,
if
John
you're in a
Galley. Thank
situation
you.
where your survival depends on that fake card, that's one thing.
yeah, it's different. If you
Yeah,
got to
hell to the
buy
no.
groceries
That's
or
how I
something.
feel about concerts. I'm sorry to talk over you, John, but I feel exactly the same way. I absolutely refuse to play the bullshit game.
Yeah.
I don't play these reindeer games. I'm not going to play the reindeer games. And I also don't sit around feeling bad like I'm being left out, because there's enough patriots out there that are doing things where we can go and be hanging out and being entertained. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I just changed my venue. Okay. Go to another playground. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, you know. Sorry.
Yeah. And like, why? The first place I think in New Hampshire was an old customer of mine in town. They're just like vaccines to get in. And I'm just like, well, what about people that have had it that are afraid to get I said the word. I'm sorry. What about people that have
I don't care if you say it.
had the
My
shot?
YouTube channel gets taken down. It means zero to me.
What about the people that have had the shot and are afraid to get it? What about people with medical reasons? What about religious? I guess just fuck them, right? So I refuse to ever give that place my money again. So we can do that, obviously. I just heard my kid start crying. That kid will never, ever in his fucking life attend a public school. That will never happen. All right. Unless it's unless it's like he can go play football there or some shit, whatever. But like,
you're going to let him do it for football. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Like if there's a sports program and it's only available there and he really wants to do it, I'm not going to tell the kid, no, you can't do it because daddy doesn't like the fucking government. So
no, you would say, I'm not going to let you do it because they want to muzzle you while you're there. And all
well, if that's going on, that's different. But let's pretend it's normal. And
okay.
He's 5 months old. He's 5 months old.
If it's the normal kind of football, you could go get brainwashed. Let's
pretend that he's 5 months old. He's 5 months old. Let's pretend it's 3 years ago. So anyway, I also think, like Dr. Barry at Jack's thing talked about people that are fragile, and I'm fragile. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I don't know if I can't not be fragile, but
you could be.
Make sure you're not. Yeah, I could be like the next step up.
You could be, but anyway.
Make sure you're not fragile, right? Because like, what fucking good are you if things start to go to shit and you're gonna die in a week? You know, and like I know that this isn't necessarily the community for it, but if you're 400 pounds and you have a shitload of guns and you think you're taking the fucking government down, all you're taking down is Twinkies. You ain't taking shit down. Like, so get your act together, man. And like, I don't know how you can work against the system and be fragile at the same time.
Well,
it just doesn't make sense.
You can. You're obviously doing it, John. Okay, but
no, I didn't mean my kind of fragile.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying like what
I meant voluntarily fragile.
Oh, right, correct. Sorry. Okay,
no, you're okay.
It's funny. Every success story I've heard, from rags to riches or from single mom, suddenly divorced, didn't think she'd ever have to have a job because they divided things up that way, to now I got it, starts with, I built a pantry and had a stock of food and supplies. And that gave me security from which I could make decisions about what I'm going to do from here. And hi, the future is on the screen right now. And then they go from there. And that's just a basic life skill, right? Organizing your life so that you have stability in your food, in your supplies, in your money, in your housing, in your energy, in those things that you need to provide for yourself. I love backpacking because you go out with, 40 pounds on your back and somehow you sleep at night and you survive and you feed yourself and you cook for yourself. And it may not be how I want to live every day of my life, but now I know I can do that. And if I lose everything, I can do that. And you know how much it costs to live camping?
Depending on
was
where
muted.
you're at. You mean
I
like
mean,
on
not
your
very
friend's
much.
land for free?
You
Yeah.
can just go camp, and you got to find money to buy food from time to time right now in our society, or you have to figure out how to forage it. I don't know, but it's not that expensive compared to apartment living or house living or whatever. And maybe you don't want to live in a backpack and a tent, but you could totally live in a backpack and a tent or a hammock.
No way.
Non-ideal
Yeah,
life.
There was
You will live. You will survive. You will not die.
Oh, maybe.
Right? You might.
I live where
I mean,
it's
John's gonna go
really cold.
crazy, right? He's gonna go crazy. He's gonna lose his mind.
I live where
That's
it's
one
cold.
thing, but you can do it. And I think we've separated ourselves from the difference between survival and comfort.
So
And we build comfort into our lives, and that totally makes sense. But when you think about what you're trading off for comfort, how much of that comfort do you really need?
well, that's
Yeah.
up to everybody, right? But so that's why I say to people like, you're so free you can choose bondage, right? So like TSL Homestead saying, the hardest thing to do is to help people understand ultimately that they're responsible for themselves. First of all, you don't need to help them do that. That's not really your work. Your work is to be the example of how to do it and be responsible, and how that is successful for you if you were to do that, right? And I mean, and also, is it worth giving your health up to go to a concert? I still want everybody to try to explain this to me. Like, I am absolutely never making a medical decision just so that I can have permission. First of all, if you know me, you know that I'm not seeking permission, number one. Number two, I'm definitely not going to violate my health to earn permission. And why doesn't everybody just realize that A, we don't need permission, and B, we should not have to violate our health to have permission because we were born sovereign.
You know what?
And the fact that we have to keep explaining this one piece over and over and over again. Everybody that I know that got vaccinated is saying they're not doing it in fear. They're doing it out of fear. They're doing it because they just want to be able to get back to normal and protect everybody. A, you can't protect anybody ever. You can't save anybody ever. It's so arrogant of you to think so. And also, the scientists who told you that you're responsible for other people are also ignorant and arrogant. Can we just understand this one concept? Because that's really the crux of all of this, is it not?
Yeah, I think we get it.
I mean, okay, I'm just saying, like,
but beyond the vaccine and all of that, like,
people are actively talking about it in the chat, which is why I'm bringing it.
Yeah.
up.
No, I know. No, I think we. When I didn't mean that to be condescending. I think that you're right. Normies, that word. I don't think they get it, and I don't think they ever will. I think they just want to do their thing. They want to.
But I mean, even folks who are even the folks who are aware, who are in our fold, I'm saying, like, I find that like, we're speaking this language so that they're able to hear it, because otherwise they're just immersed in the orthodox nonsense constantly.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of saying it again because I feel like, every time we say something, maybe the words that I use this time might help them find another way to be able to walk more powerfully in their own knowing that they don't need to, defend and explain and, whatever, cajole and,
they need to live. But here's what I'm observing, Neethi, from those who follow us who feel trapped. They've built a life where they may have a family and they live somewhere where they have a mortgage. And in order to pay for their mortgage and their life and their car and everything, might even have some student debt they're paying back, they need an income. To get the income, they have a job. The job is at a company with more than 100 people that has bought into the whole OSHA thing, whatever.
Okay,
I know it's on hold, it doesn't matter. And they're sitting there thinking, if I don't do this to myself, if I don't get the jab, I lose my job, I lose my income, I lose my house, and it's this cascading effect. And their alternative is to get a different job completely out of their field. Okay, let's say they're a professional, they're an engineer at a construction-based firm that has government contracts.
Okay.
And they make maybe $110,000 a year, something like that.
All right.
Okay. Their alternative is to go to one of the many places that are begging for employees that will pay them less money to do something that is quite frankly not perceived as cool by society.
Well,
right? Work at a convenience store, work in retail, work at a smaller company, make less money, and they're looking at their bills and they're looking at that. And I totally sympathize with this because it's an ego thing. I'm an engineer and now I'm gonna have to take a job not as an engineer, right? I'm making $110,000 a year and now I'm gonna have to make 60.
Right. It's a quantum leap, guys.
Yeah. And that's hard. Yeah. And they're like, screw it, I'll get the jab because family.
No.
And then they don't look at the other side of the coin, which is how can I get the expenses down? Like, how can I work with my family who loves me to do this? And maybe their family's not supportive. I don't know. That also, I've seen a lot of that this year.
Exactly.
I totally sympathize. Unfortunately, when we're looking and I'm in a position where I don't need a lot of money to live because of how I've chosen to live. And I've built my own income generating machine. So in some senses, me saying I'm not going to take the jab, super easy to do because I'm my boss. My boss doesn't care. My boss isn't going to fire me, right?
Right. Well,
I'm not even facing that because I'm not in that position. They're in that position and I sympathize. I just hope they find a way to build to support their priority and take care of their health, because if they're worried about side effects,
I think
that's not where you ever want to be. And your health is so much more important to your long-term prosperity
those people
than a rule.
It's fine for those people to, like, I speak like I'm speaking from a high horse in a way because I've managed to build a life where I can afford to say fuck the system and I'm not participating. But I think some of those people might have to find ways around it. Well, find that friendly doctor that'll fire that vial into the trash and just give them a card maybe or something. And then maybe that's what those people need to do for now, and then pick their battle later, but focus on becoming resilient, developing a side hustle in the meantime or something like that. But I mean, maybe this is where they kick the can down the road and fight later. It's
not. I just want everybody to know it's not too late. Because I'm doing this side of it, but my husband's not. He's in the job world. Okay. He is that guy that Nicole just described. All right. That's my husband. And so we're trying to get him out of it, which I always was trying to get him out of it. But now he can see why there's 101 reasons to get out of it. Right. And so, I mean, he has the opportunity to try to do that. And I think that it's still not easier. It's still not easier for him to decide to just do that because there's a standard that he wants to maintain our household with, or he wants our family to have a specific standard or whatever. He feels like the kids should have something, whatever it might be, even though all of us are like, dude, we're totally cool with pivot. Like, we will pivot and, and move and do whatever. And so it is a hard conversation. It's not easy. It is easy to keep teetering. I mean, I get it. I know what it's like to be sitting on that fence. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm just speaking so powerfully and I don't have to consider all these things too, because I really do. I mean, I am thinking about it too. I think we're all having this conversation. I just want everybody to know that I'm always trying to remind him and everyone out there who's listening to us that you can walk more powerful. I just think that they just can't hear it enough. That's all.
Go back and listen.
You're stuck. Go ahead, Brian.
TSP, like episode 28 or something like that. It was in the first 100 for sure. I just built my home office because I had evicted myself out of the corporate fucking office. They came back one day and like literally there was a phone on the floor because I was just like, F it, I'm gonna go work at home. And I hadn't decided to quit yet. I just decided I wasn't going to that fucking building anymore. So I was working in my little home office and Jack's episode came on. I put everything away And I forgot he went on this epic rant about do it. Like, F it, do it. Like, just do your thing. Like, everyone in your family might hate your thing. F it, do it. If that's what you're born to do, flip them off, go do it. And that was in that hour is when I decided to quit corporate America and just say, fuck it. So it also meant getting rid of the Frank Lloyd Wright house with the view of the Olympics, looked at the sound. It also meant a lot of hard shit to come and a lot of work, right?
And there's more hard shit to come, right?
Lots. But I decided to give myself permission to do the thing that I was born to do. So I did it. And you know what? The only thing holding you into the society bullshit, he talked about like the retirement commercial of the fuckers walking down the beach hand in hand and he ran through the odds and the actual numbers of that. You're all the media, all the everything, 50,000 hours of government school is programmed you to think that you need a fucking 2-story, 5-bedroom house with all this bullshit. And as soon as you let it go, the second you do, you don't. You need like literally a backpack, a blue pad, and a good sleeping bag, like, and some homies everywhere to go be with, or people that have land that want people to visit them. So anyway, the thing that's trapping you in the cage is the you. That's what we can't help anybody change that. But I remember that episode clear as fucking day. That's why I'm saying it now. Go, Nicole.
And some of it's that standard, right? That Neethy's talking about. We have a standard of living that we need to live up to. And I'm all there. I understand. I am not anti-luxury. I am not anti-comfort. But sometimes you decide what's more important, that comfort or my ethics, that comfort or my health.
You know what?
Health, you can never do without.
Yeah. I also find that the moment that you decide that okay, I'm gonna let it go. I mean, I want everybody to know for sure. Like I am operating with integrity, but I am also having to walk a line. And my husband is in the job world, and he's not. I shouldn't say too much about him. He don't like me talking about him. I should stop talking about him. But I will just say this. I will say that he has his health. We're not going to allow him to sacrifice his health. That's all I really can say about that. But what I find is the more that we discuss it, the more we talk about it, and the more comfortable that he is knowing that we don't really need all of those things that he thinks that we should have because he wants to give us the best life. And you know what? As a man, I'm glad that he wants to be able to give us whatever he thinks is the best of everything. And I don't want to take that away from him either, because, these days, I mean, men aren't even allowed to be men, and he's a man, and I'm not trying to take that away from him. But I want him to know that, I love that he has these really high standards. We just don't have to have all of that stuff, and we are okay, and we're happy and whatever. Right. And so when we have those conversations and as we talk these things out further, we end up with solutions that allow him to step one more step away from that. And so I don't know if that makes sense, what I just said. That the more we discuss it and the more he knows that he has support from us because we're happy where we're at. We don't need whatever it is that he thinks he has to do to make it better. We don't need all of that. And so as a side effect, he ends up finding out he can take a step away, and then somehow we have what we need from my side or from the other side, like from the not orthodox side. Does that make sense? Like it comes in from somewhere else. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, I want to get to this question from B. Willen. When your to-do list gets to the point of overwhelming, how do you take action to get started?
Make smaller circles.
Yeah.
I break it up. I take the to-do list and I make it into a whole bunch of little circles, and then I just go boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, just like pick the most important one and only work on that until it's done. That's all. That's the only thing I can do, and I'm still terrible at it.
I'm getting way better at it. Brian, what do you do?
Yeah, micro. Just like, don't paint the house, paint a wall. Don't paint the wall, paint a corner of the wall. Like just like paint start
Micro.
anything.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if the motivation part's the trouble, you just got to start with anything. Like
Something.
yeah, just start doing anything. And that's the same with there's a question about finding a side hustle, and it's the same attitude. You just got to start doing something, keep your eyes open, whatever you can do. But same thing really applies to that.
I like to say eat the frog. Eat the frog. There's something on your list that you've been worrying about for 3 weeks. And you have spent so much damn time worrying about that thing that you could have got that thing done in the time you spent worrying about that thing. And while you were worried about that thing, you were not doing anything.
Yeah.
And figure out what that thing is that you hate and eat that frog. And once that frog is eaten, you'll be like, damn it, that took me 10 minutes. And I've been worrying about this frog for 3 hours.
Yes.
If you find, I eat a frog a day. And once the frog is gone, it's gone. Taxes is usually on that list. But yeah, don't like that frog at all. But eat the frog, and it starts giving you clarity. Yeah. I stunned you all into silence. This is unusual. Usually you're all talking at once.
We were just like, yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I was on my eat my frog rant.
That was a good one.
You eat an elephant one bite at a time from TSL.
Nice.
My other thing about that is I've made it a focus of mine not to end a day not having done the shit that I have to just do every day. Like there's obviously stuff that has to happen. So if you kick that one thing into tomorrow, whatever, I can do that tomorrow, then that one thing bleeds into the next thing and so on, and then you're screwed. So like if you're already behind on 50 projects and you're overwhelmed, make sure that you don't leave some just basic ass daily shit from today for tomorrow. That's helped me a lot. And then the other thing is I catch myself going, and then I got to do this, and then I got to do that. And
that.
Don't do that to yourself. Like stop.
Yeah.
Don't run through your head all this shit that I have to do. Just go, okay, the night before, I'm going to narrow it down to like 1 or 2 things I'm going to work on tomorrow, and that's it. And that way you wake up the next day with the mindset of like, this is what I'm going to do today. And you have, even as you walk by the shit that hasn't been done, that needs to get done, you cannot go, and I got to get to that stupid thing. Like, don't do that to yourself. It really it's super distracting,
It's easy to do, super distracting. And we were talking about decluttering your life or simplifying your life at the beginning of this episode. A lot of the things on our overwhelming list are things we never need to do.
Yep.
Getting honest about what you never need to do is hard. I like to make a big ass list, and then I make the list of minimums. This is the minimum number of things that really need to be done. And then I cut that in half, and then I cut it in half again, and that's what I'm actually going to do. And by the time I get there, I realize almost all the stuff I cut off never needed to be done ever. And then I have to decide, do I want to do that? That's a different question. But it didn't need to be done. I just told myself it needed to be done. And that'll make your list small, fast. And sometimes you just have a big ass list, and that is what it is. You can only do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
I also find that if I can't get my list done, then the universe is trying to say it's not time. Sometimes it's just not time for whatever you think it is that you're trying to do. And you need to just, and then when you get quiet and sit still for a minute, then you get this clarity and focus in the right direction. And then you find that, 10 other things happened and you never had to do the other thing. So.
Yep.
Someone was talking about a spouse that stands behind them and all that stuff after downs. Yeah, that goes a long way when people know what you're doing.
Yeah, partnership. I have neighbors. I don't have spouses.
I mean, it's really, really important. And the worst thing that I think I'm seeing right now is those partnerships dissolving. And one of the reasons that I see a lot of the relationships falling apart is they don't give each other any grace. They don't give each other any grace. I think that people don't understand when you're giving grace, that means that you forgive and forget some shit. Like sometimes, sometimes you get into it with the person who you love, who you're so close to, and it's so hard. You say all this stuff and they say, and like you got to be able to just erase it and forget it and like literally decide, like, I think I just love you more than I'm so mad at you, but I love you more than all of that. And I have to just let it all go. And I just can't even think about it. So squash. Well, but no one's squashing anything anymore. You got to squash some things, you know?
Yeah.
The world's not allowing for that at this red hot minute. Like,
Neethi, as
no
a single woman, apparently I don't know.
Well, I'm not talking to you about it, girl. Well, you do know that. Remember, Nicole, we were talking about when we were kids, then, you know, you could go to your friend and say, hey, friend, you hurt my feelings. And then your friend might say, oh my gosh, I didn't know I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. And then you would hug it out and it would just be over with and you would never speak it out again. And these days, nobody does that.
John's laughing because the guys just hit each other and moved on.
Yeah,
If
I went to my friend and said, hey, man, you hurt my feelings, he would like find an opportunity later that day to pee on me or something, like when I was a kid.
Guys
I'd be walking on a deck underneath and he'd be like, yeah, this is what I feel about your feelings. You know, like it would never happen. We would fight and then we'd be okay. Like 3 days later. I'd be like, hey, man, and it would never talk about it again.
Right. But whatever. Guys do that. Girls don't do that. But girls, we would just be like, hey, you hurt my feelings. Guys would go punch each other in the face until they did like you said.
Yeah.
And then you'd come back. Then he'd come back to you and he'd bring you one of your Dr. Pepper Zeros or some crap.
Yeah.
And then you would know then you would know it's squashed.
Or we just ignore it and then never talk about it again.
Well, you don't talk about it. You only squash it because he hands you something.
Yeah.
Like a hot dog or Dr. Pepper or something. I don't know what.
What do you?
It's like you're targeting John Dowie.
Okay,
he
sorry.
also microwaves his coffee. He microwaves his
what?
coffee.
Sorry.
And hot
Not
dogs.
kidding.
And hot dogs.
If
He microwaves his hot dogs and his coffee. It makes it all better.
First of all, John Dowie, I just want you to know that we get hot dogs. We get hot dogs. We have regenerative hot dogs, but we eat them.
I love me some Oscar Mayer.
Neethi's like, I'm gonna die. Oh my god.
Okay. Microwave drum roasted coffee, because of the way it was roasted with the acid, you make it more bitter. If you microwave to reheat air roasted coffee, like Nicole's or mine,
oh my goodness,
make it bitter because there's no acid in it. But boom. As long as you microwave your coffee, Nicole, we're good.
Yeah.
I buy Mick Cafe medium dark roast and drip brew it. And
I just added a subscription tool to my website that's badass. Just go there, John. You can take care of it.
Just take care of it, John.
I have no thoughts. If it doesn't come out hot enough, it goes right in the microwave. Who gives a shit? It just wakes me up. It's wake up juice. I don't care.
Battery acid. Oh,
I mean, you can get wake up powder. It's just not legal in most states.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll lose some weight.
Wow.
Oh,
there's a solution for everybody. Wake up powder.
How did we get here?
You're welcome.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
welcome. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Problem solved. All of them.
So back to taking action in a world where you feel compelled to do something.
Just do it.
In a world where you feel compelled to do something, what should you do?
Do it. Just do the thing.
Do the thing. John, what's your thought on that? In a world where you feel compelled to do something, what should you do?
What are we? Is it
anything? Whatever.
People
feel called to do things. What should they do?
I think they should think about it because I think they should think about it a little bit because I know people that are called to do things that are fucking insane. So like, don't do that. But like, if you're trying to read that comment, embracing fragile and so yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with hot dogs per Dr. Barry. So that's true. So
it's true. It's true.
No, but if you're called to do something and it is like a good constructive thing to do, then yes, you should try to work as hard as you can towards it. If you're called to like tour with Leonard Skinner, maybe give it a second thought. But
Why? That used to be a good idea.
yeah, it's a bad choice.
Brian, remember?
If you're like, I really want to be a roadie for Adele, maybe start reconsidering some things. But if you, if it's something constructive and it can build your world up and community, or if it has anything to do with hot dogs, I think you should 100% attack that idea. That's where I'm at with that. I don't know. Is that what you meant? I feel
Yeah,
like
sure. Brian,
Okay.
if you feel really called to take action as an agorist, what do you do?
Just do stuff. We're doing a Saturday market for Makers Market. I'm letting anybody set up white tents in my upper driveway and sell whatever on Small Business Saturday. So,
do they have to be white?
Didn't ask permission. No, whatever. Farmers market. It's gonna rain and be like 34 degrees, so it depends on if you want to stand in the driveway in the rain.
Yeah.
But yeah. Don't ask permission. Just go do it. I don't want to pay the farmers market $30 for a booth plus 6% of my sales. So I'm going to sell shit in my driveway.
Wow, your farmers market is terrible.
Do they like really promote it to death or what? I mean, are you guaranteed like X amount of like what?
Oh, no. It's just like good luck. No, that's good luck. So yeah. I'm just letting people come do it for free because you know what? Once people get here, they might see my shit too.
So one of the struggles I have with explaining how to do stuff from an agorist standpoint, an anarchist standpoint is this: don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. That's the answer.
That's it.
Correct.
When you want to take action, how do you do that without hurting people or taking their stuff? If you're defending yourself, it's a different thing. You might have to hurt somebody who's trying to hurt you to stop them from hurting you. You may have to defend somebody else, but taking action for me is be the model. Go do the thing that needs to be done. And when people ask you, how do I get involved? Have a way, have an answer, have a way for them to get involved. Or if they just ask questions, be willing to talk about them without denigrating their whatever, ignorance or no knowledge. Because everybody's in a different place and they're just opening their eyes. And when they see you do a thing, they're like, whoa, like mind blown. I didn't know you could just go sell your stuff in your own yard and make your own farmer's market. I thought I had to join this other farmer's market and do all these regulatory things. And you're like, no, just like sell your stuff and support each other.
So here's the other one. There's 8 or 10 neighbors on this 1.5 mile dead end road. There's been tweakers living in that woods for fucking 10 years. Robbing every house, every night, stealing all the shit that was out. Like Tweakerville. It's just, they cook meth out in the woods and they.
So Brian, you live in Tweakerville?
He lives. It sounds like you live in Canada.
My property where the festival is.
Yeah.
So I finally started spending just a tiny bit of time out there. I don't even live there. It's just a woods for me. But I got to meet, there's only 8 neighbors on 1.5 miles. So when the car came crickling by, I ran out to the effing road and I met all 8 of them. And I asked like specifically, so the tweaker problem, are we down with that? And every one of them said, no, we've been around. Fucking, I hate this thing forever. We call the show. I was like, okay. So the next time all 8 of them
not
came
going to
by,
help you, are they?
Right. I handed my card with my phone number and said, okay, I've talked to all 8 of us. We all agree this effing sucks. How about we just stop it? One of the 8 of us loves to chase tweakers and has like night vision and all kinds of fun shit. So why don't we buy him beers? Ta-da! A 10-year-old problem got fixed in like 2.5 weeks because 8 people like talked to a central hub and told the other 8 people what was going down. And now we leave beers for Jesse and there's no tweakers in our woods. So yeah, how do I do things? I don't know. I fucking just look at the thing and say like, hey, is it like, are you down with that? Like someone needs to speak up. Like, hey, are you down with that? That's all it took. And 8 people said, no, we fucking hate this. And it stopped. Like
it strikes me
in 10 years, they couldn't.
This podcast was started when Curtis Stone asked the question, if we didn't have all of this societal construct, all of the standards that are here, how would we build the world? What would be different? And that answer, Brian, I guess you're this way. That answer is, how did you solve the tweaker problem?
Leave Jesse beer
you didn't use aggression. You figured out the problem and you provided a solution that was done. You got away from the, well, we have to start a neighborhood watch and we have to call the police every time there's a problem and drugs need to be illegal and then somebody will get arrested and they'll go to jail for about 2 hours and they'll be let out because there's no room in jail and then
jerk off about it for another 10 years. No. Yeah. Direct action. Do it.
Yeah. So that's the answer.
If there's 2 other dudes on the street that are like-minded, maybe you go get Motorola's, and when you mic that shit in the middle of the night, tweet, 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 red lights come out of 3 or 4 houses. Poof, middle of the street, lasers. Guess who ain't getting robbed on that street anymore? Lasers.
So also, I've just learned you can solve any problem with laser beams. Laser beams.
Laser beams are great. Red and green, both sides of the street. Lead tweakers not to touch your shit.
Yes.
So,
cool. Okay, let's pivot.
Organizing neighbors. That's what you can do. Organize.
New topic. Neethi wanted to talk about gratitude today. Neethi, this is your segment. You go. Gratitude.
I just wanted for us to be, talking authentically and sharing vision for truth and freedom and appreciation for all the folks that are out there who are wanting the things that we're talking about. I mean, I appreciate you guys so much. And I appreciate the opportunity to be able to work with and help people who are now like realizing that we were born for this time. And they are trying to figure out what it is that we can do and how we can more powerfully move into the future. And so I just wanted to say that, I'm grateful and appreciative for all the folks out there who are seeking it and who are participating in these conversations with all of us. And this is just my joy. And if any of the conversations that we have here on Unleash the Goose helps to change anybody's life out there, even just a little bit, then it's worth all the Wednesdays that we sit here and hang out. So, and I am really appreciative and grateful for all of you. Because this is so much fun to me. We're working a little bit, but it's mostly play for me. And it does help me on the other side with my work too. But isn't that what it's supposed to be? It's supposed to be fun. And you guys make it so much fun. And I appreciate you so much.
Who wants to go next?
Okay. When Neethi talked about gratitude, the first thing I thought about was people, like mentors, who's taught me stuff. But then I started thinking about why did they teach me stuff? And then why me? So, people that have knowledge, that freely give it away, that's what I'm grateful for.
You're one of those people. Thank you.
I try a little. But yeah, you know what? It's like my Scoutmaster was like, I put him up for Scoutmaster Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy was a assistant principal at a junior high school. It was insanity. And on the side, he took care of like 150 Boy Scouts and like had the most Eagle Scouts ever produced by a troop in Michigan or some shit. I mean, the guy like did service his entire life, every minute of it. And I never could figure out why.
We talk about normies, and I hate to break it to everybody, but this is normal. Communities who support each other are normal. People who empower each other are normal. And somehow we've managed to teach each other learn that that's not normal, and that what's normal is the government gives you the things. But this is normal. Taking responsibility for your mistakes and your successes is normal. Enjoying being successful and celebrating that is normal. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm also thankful for our show note fairies and the guy who wrote the song that is not Jack singing.
It is.
and people willing to come up with merchandise ideas.
That's as bad as Wayne pressing.
I'm thankful for those things. But you know what I'm most thankful for is I know everybody on the show, right? I know the people who have been hosts of the show who have kind of disappeared and might float back in, the people who are on the show on a regular basis now. And the best part about being on Unloose the Goose is I've gotten to become closer friends with all the geese, all the host geese. And I'm thinking about one goose in particular right now who had a really hard family thing happen yesterday. And what I'd like to do right now is just ask out of gratitude, if you're a prayer, send prayers to this unnamed person who had a family tragedy. If you're not a prayer, give us positive thoughts. We'll be lighting a candle tonight. There's a candle right there from Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
You know, the support network here is huge, and it goes beyond just the hosts. It goes into those who are active in our network. And I think about family a lot. I have a great family. Not everybody does, but I also have a great chosen family. Because your family isn't necessarily your blood kin. It's the people you choose to be your family. And that's what we see happening in our network. So I'm thankful for all of that. I see what John's thankful for. John, what are you thankful for?
Yeah, man.
Gratitude.
I guess, I mean, before this little guy, I was just kind of just working nonstop, trying to fill my time, doing stupid shit to entertain myself. All kind of pointless. You know what I mean? And then now it makes sense, right? Now there's a reason. And it's funny because like Spirko was yapping about generational wealth or something or whatever back when he was in there. He wasn't here yet, but we knew he was coming, right? And I had been thinking about that, and it's like a new thing, you know. It's like the thought in my brain of like, man, there's nothing that's getting passed down to me from previous generations probably, and that's you know, not like in a selfish way, just like that sucks that there's nothing that's been created, you know. And so, you know, my gratitude is like in a way of like obviously in him and my wife and like kind of a new family, if you will, and a new direction, like in a new set of goals, you know, to develop this generational, you know, thing. And that's, yeah. I actually have gratitude. If you'd asked me this a year ago, I'd be like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? And now it's well, maybe not because he was in there, you know, she was a month along, but like, you know, but then he's getting restless. So, but it's different, you know. Say hi to everybody. He isn't going to say anything. He's only 5 months old. I haven't quite taught him how to talk yet.
Yeah, once you do, man,
he won't shut up like his dad.
Right. I'm sure.
I'm sure he says plenty. He gets what he wants anyway, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
His first word's gonna be ranch.
Like we have Thanksgiving coming up, and people politicize this holiday, and there's no reason to do it.
Oh really?
They do.
They do. Yeah.
And what? How?
How?
We're going to talk about that tangent.
He who scarfs a lot.
But when you think about the core,
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Core of what we get out of this holiday, you've got that you know, your family you choose. You've got a time to pause and think about gratitude. You've got a time to celebrate the harvest. Like,
yeah,
I don't know about y'all, but there is hardly anything at my Thanksgiving table this year that comes from anywhere but here or other farmers I know.
Fish is going to play the old Clifford Ball shows Friday and Saturday night.
There you go.
The download's going to be epic.
So I think it's important to pause and think about gratitude from time to time, not just at this time of year, but throughout the year, because there's so much going on that's awesome, and we focus on solving problems, and then we think about the problems and we forget about the like, well, what did we already solve? What do we already have? What's already there?
Definitely good reflection time.
Yeah.
I guess like I didn't know people could politicize Thugsgiving, which is what
they can. They totally can. You know they can. Okay.
I don't run into that, but I don't know. I don't
eat meat.
Yeah, my family's kind of. Oh, is it the Topher?
Oh, the Topher people. You know,
I grew up in a religion with a shitload of vegetarians, and I fucking knew about tofurkey in like 1985.
Wait, you're a Seventh-day Adventist?
I grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
And I the idea of tofurkey made me throw up in my mouth when I was 6 years old. Just the thought of it it's just gross, and I can't believe it's still a thing.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas.
A Seventh-day Adventist
Tofurkey
envelope. No.
Today I saw the funniest one. It was a can of Spam carved like a turkey, and it said budget Thanksgiving.
You know, I've never had Spam.
Oh,
What?
That's
Yeah.
because
Come
you're
out.
young. It's because you're
Yeah,
young.
had
we
it.
used to have Spam.
Well,
I think,
He's
more
like
in the
10 years
70s.
younger than we are, guys. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
You need
I'm
to know
42.
why.
See?
See,
the,
yeah, he's a kid.
Well, it's ham, right?
no.
It's pork.
Oh.
It's a pork product.
I
Or
got
like a giant hot dog. Just think of it as a giant hot dog in a
Giant
can.
hot
without
dog.
juicing.
But it's a pork product, correct?
Yeah. Pork
Maybe?
shoulder and
I don't know. I think it has
Seventh-day Adventist.
beef in it too. I
No
think
pork.
I think it's mystery meat. Actually,
It was not allowed in my childhood. No pork.
Oh.
Seventh-day Adventist. No pork. No seafood that didn't have scales and fins. All kinds of crazy bullshit food rules that make me want to fight people now. And here you're probably a type 1 diabetic, but eat these fucking cornflakes because Mr. Kellogg and Mrs. Seventh-day Adventist were banging each other. There's your whole religion in a nutshell. Sorry to insult your entire religion, people, but
Oh
deal
my
with it.
goodness.
Sorry. No pent up anger or anything.
No resentment. Gratitude, John. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Oh,
Gratitude.
sorry. It's hard. Look, I'm in New England. It's tough to maintain gratitude
Thanks
for longer than
fucking
3 or
goodness.
4 minutes.
Wait, I told you there's a property for sale near my house, right?
You don't want me to bring this there?
I'd love to see that little one down here.
No, not this. I mean the rage.
Your rage will dissolve as
We
as
got
you
that.
cross-
The New England rage.
as you cross over into Tennessee, it would all dissolve.
It will.
It would dissolve for no other reason, but because you could just get shot and killed in Tennessee for
Just don't drink the sweet tea, dude. It's not good for you.
What happens when you fly over
Ooh.
the Rockies? The rage just gets stripped off.
It
Yeah.
gets really
Like
it gets very difficult for me to find coffee when I get south of Pennsylvaki.
I got you covered on coffee, dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
More than one
Yes.
neighbor just walks into my house and just makes their coffee. It's what they do.
That's
When
awesome.
they leave, they're like,
that is so good.
"Good morning, Nicole," and they walk out the door. Yeah,
They
it's
love
just the way it
like
works.
that.
Okay, so quote of the day. You guys ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Don't judge me.
Ugh.
Do not judge me. Sometimes people come up with a good quote. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sometimes-
Even the sun shines on a dog's ass sometimes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yesterday is not
Oh.
ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose.
Ah,
What do you think about that?
we get to choose in every moment.
What are you doing?
Every moment.
I don't know. I'm trying to live in the now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
right now.
you don't have to recover yesterday if you make sure today works out.
In the
And
now.
you can set today up to make
If
it
you
better
don't set
tomorrow.
up to 5 karaoke, and you mean?
I mean, now is already over, isn't it? It's like over and over.
Yeah.
and
Right.
over.
Oh,
Yeah.
that freaks me out. Don't do that. Oh my god. It like blows my fucking
We
mind.
need to put a mirror in front of John so he does that like infinite mirror thing.
Yeah. Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you doing, Chubba Cheeks? What are you doing, Chubbers?
I think
Yeah.
it's what a lot of people get stuck on what happened before. And a lot of times when people are telling me why they need to do X or why they can't do X or Y, it's because when I was this, that happened. And I'm like, the fuck do I care about that? I care about tomorrow. I care about what you choose to do tomorrow. I told you about, maybe I didn't. I told somebody about somebody I met at John Willis's who decided she wanted something different, came down to his factory and is learning to be a seamstress, right? A commercial seamstress.
Nice.
And we did this self-reliance festival and she was just transfixed by the blacksmithing. And she was like, "This is so great, Nicole. I got to learn all about blacksmithing. I've been there all day." And I was like, "What demo are you doing at the next self-reliance festival?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh man, you gave me homework." I was like, "Yeah, I want to see you blacksmithing at the next self-reliance festival. Like, go make something from that."
Yeah.
And that's, you know, like, she's the epitome of, okay, I'm going to leave the shit behind that has been holding me back, and I'm going to move forward. And I've just discovered this thing's interesting to me, and I'm going to learn about it, right? And then if while you're learning about it, you discover, actually, I kind of like that. I don't like getting hit with the molten sparks. Like, I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, fine. But do it. Do something different. Don't get mired in that whatever happened before. I know it's not like it doesn't define you, but it doesn't have to own you.
That's deep.
That's my only deep moment for the whole show. That's all I got.
I'm absorbing it.
That was it.
I'm soaking it in.
Okay.
Is that what the fans are for? I'm just kidding.
Oh, his fans actually showed up on recording. That's the first time we've heard him, John. Don't
I
worry.
know, it's the first time we could hear him all of a sudden.
Oh, did you hear him? Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's fine.
There's a whole shitload of money being made behind me.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you should show people how to make money.
Right?
Ooh.
Lift
If
up
only there was like a microgreen school or something.
Oh, if only.
How is it going with the seeds, Mr. Microgreen Man?
What seed? Like, what do you want to know?
Like getting seeds.
Am I getting them? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been way ahead of supply chain problems. So, like, I've been getting, like, if I need seeds, I get a year's worth of a whack right now. But it's definitely going to tighten up. There's going to be a peat moss shortage next year. So that's going to be interesting. I'm ahead on my soil. So there's already a perlite shortage. So there's half of your ingredients of soil, pretty much, peat moss and perlite, you know. So buy your potting soil now for seed starting. And I don't think there'll be a rush on seeds. 2 years ago, seeds were like rough, you know, for that one little stint when everybody decided to have a garden in 2020. And then this year, I think they anticipated it, and it was okay. Like, I even ordered a bunch of seeds I was going to sell, and then I still have them. Whoops.
So if you need seeds, buy them from John.
Yeah, right.
Because part of community is supporting each other.
And
that means buying your seeds from John.
But I got 1,000 pounds of pea seeds, so that's nice.
Oh, cool. I need pea seeds.
I got like 10.
Will they grow in the winter? Are they winter peas?
They're yellow peas, so your regular run-of-the-mill, but they're yellow, like not green peas.
We'll talk after this because I'm going to buy peas anyway.
Oh, I'm not trying to sell those, but I will sell you some.
Okay.
I bought those.
I might allow it for you.
I bought those because
What
it's
are
a
you
year's
trying
worth
to
of
sell?
I sell a
Let's
shitload
go
of
around the
pizza.
horn.
Right?
Okay. So I have Snooker the goose, but we don't have to do this. If anybody has a question, just ask it. And Brian, what are you trying to sell? So one part of community and human relationships is supporting each other financially. If I can buy my coffee from me or Brian, I'm going to buy it from me or Brian. And I do buy it from Brian, and I do buy it from me. If I can buy my seeds from John, I'm going to buy them from John. If I can get some meat from Neethi, I'm going to get it from Neethi. Like, what do you guys got? What's up?
All right. Well, how about we just go around
what are we
clockwise?
Yeah.
Go for it, Brian.
Okay, so clockwise, thesquatchfest.com. Thesquatchfest.com. Tickets are on sale. We've got a blues artist booked. We got a folk singer, a couple of gals. We got DJs. I'm talking to a hip hop anarchist hip hopper right now. So camping festival in April 14th through 17th, and then go on down to Tennessee. So if you know of we really need a great rock and roll band. So anyone in the Pacific Northwest that's in the music scene, we need more artists. So that would really help. Or don't give people shit for Christmas. Get them experiences. I teach a coffee roasting class. You can take 10 pounds of coffee home with you after you get whichever kind of different class you want to go to. I have an Airbnb. I'll take prepaid. So anyway, foodforcefarms.com. See all my shit. Come out to a festival. Tell some people.
You totally need sauce to play there.
I told you want to come play?
I don't know. We'll see.
We can read.
I don't know. My boys will go. I have to ask them.
Okay. Let's ask permissions.
No, I have to see if they'll go. It's,
No. Talk them into it. I'll twist arms. We'll get Patty on it. She's good at twisting.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she's great.
John.
Dowie, what do you got? Go around.
What am I selling?
Whatever.
Dowie Farms.
I got some land. I got some land in the desert. No, I sell
Where?
flats, but it's like a weird market right now. It's hard to that's another supply chain issue. So you can get those at dowiefarm.com/something. So now you can just go there and click on
Do
the
you sell
homepage.
direct to people in town or just restaurants? Do you actually deliver?
Around New Hampshire?
Yeah.
We sell our microgreens, duck eggs, quail eggs, maple syrup, honey, mustards, garlic products. Some of that's not ours, but we redistribute it for only the best farms in New Hampshire. We sell that all over New England, basically. Well, that's a bad statement, but from Concord, New Hampshire, south to friggin' Dorchester, Wellesley, Massachusetts, all the way to the seacoast, and then west to Nashua, New Hampshire, and straight down to Wellesley. So we do home delivery. So if you're in this area and you want that, reach out, dowiefarm.com. But then I also sell online if you want, but it's massive amounts. It's by the case, flats and growing pots and stuff like that for plastics, I'm looking into shipping syrup and stuff though, because I've learned that you folks in the South don't have maple trees or something.
I do, but they don't do well.
No, they don't get it cold enough down there. So
I want some for this CSA.
So, right. So I'm looking into that. I just don't know what the shipping's like. I haven't gone that far.
If only you could drive to a workshop once a year and deliver a whole bunch of fucking maple syrup.
If only.
If
only.
I know. Maybe we'll see.
5-gallon buckets.
Load the van up with syrup and sleep on it. But so we do that. And I sell barrels around here too, but I don't ship those either. I don't ship a lot of stuff because I hate dealing with mail.
You could do a whole series on how to become a barrel baron.
Barrel baron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I've been selling barrels for silver lately, which is fun. That's happened 3 times now. So
nice.
I sold honey for silver. I was pretty happy about that one.
Yeah. I've never really, I haven't got any crypto yet, but hopefully I can crack that nut soon.
You will.
Do you
selling
click the crypto box on your Craigslist ads?
Do I what? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But Craigslist is dead. It's it sucks. Facebook killed it.
Craigslist.
But they have an app now, so hopefully, because Craigslist has an app now, and it's actually very user friendly.
Oh,
and
I use it.
It's everybody needs to swing back to using the Craigslist app, and enough Facebook book of face. I hate that. I'm sorry, Meta.
The best part about Meta is they announce the name and another corporation says, we already have that name.
Nice.
You can buy it for $2 million.
Good.
That's
it.
Yes.
It
was a happy moment for me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't celebrate other people's woes, but I did have a moment there.
What is this? I wonder if I can tap my maple tree.
Tori, you can tap your maple tree.
Yeah, you just don't get much of a sap run, I guess. And there's a bacteria that makes the syrup do its thing, and it's all based on how cold and how long.
I think Tori might be in a cold place.
Okay. Nice. I'm sorry.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Neethi.
Yes. So farm2forkmeatriot.org.
What are you about to launch in January?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. I am going to launch an affiliate program for the food church. So if you are interested in managing and having your own food church, then I would like for you to be an affiliate. I'll help you, you'll get full on training so that everything that I've learned in the past 12 years, you won't have to make all the mistakes I made. And, it's a counter economic strategy. If you're interested in implementing it, I'm seeking eaters who want to do that. I know a lot of folks, people used to think that the farmers should be the food church runners, but you don't have enough time in your life to be a farmer and a food church runner. The Jacksons will let you know that that's what they think anyway. They appreciate not having to do that and this. So we've determined that definitely We want to be planting food churches across the country. And so if you're interested in that, I am doing everything that I can to be able to launch it in January. So, and Nicole's probably helping me with the website. So
Really?
Maybe not. Maybe we have a solution already. We're waiting to see how that works. I'm going to do the plan that we talked about.
Okay, good.
And then you can look at it and see if it needs to be something else. But anyway,
If your plan works, go with your plan, man.
I mean, I really am doing everything I can to make that work. And so anyway, that's what I'm working on.
Here's mine. I have 500 episodes out, and a listener made this for me.
How nice.
A long-term supporter. Oops. Woo.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. He made this sign, and his wife said, "You need to make it so she can add another one below when she gets to 1,000."
Oh, nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That is
So if
nice.
you're interested in adding a podcast to your world, livingfreeintennessee.com has a podcast, and I talk about a lot of like developing your life the way you want to live it. So live your life on your terms. Very important homesteading things, entrepreneurship. And of course, I sell coffee with Brian. We're doing Christmas coffee, right?
And we're going to do a class for people coming up, right?
Yeah. So two things.
Christmas coffee.
One,
Yes, absolutely.
yes,
We're going
Christmas
to do a
coffee.
two-off.
If you want
When I
Unloose
make-
the Goose coffee, this is a very limited edition thing this year where it's 1
Super
pound of
limited.
his and 1 pound of mine. And we're going to 2 pounds go. I'll even gift wrap it on my side if you want it gift wrapped.
Wraps.
And he and
Hand
I will
dressed.
both sell this. And there are 18 total packages, right?
Only
Yep,
18?
that's it.
Only 18.
That's it.
What?
We're
They're
both
going
selling
to hit
those.
our
They're
websites.
gonna
When are
be
you
crazy
putting yours
expensive.
on the website, Brian? Like Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah. After
Monday?
the yeah.
After Thanksgiving, say mine will go live Monday. And then
Oh yeah, because we're Monday, right? Yeah. we have
and
Monday.
then
Good.
it might not ship for a couple days after that because he and I have to ship each other the coffee. We're doing that right now. That's going to be the Unloose the Goose coffee package. And a whole bunch of people want to know, how do I start a coffee business? So Brian and I have decided to do a panel Q&A session for folks who want to learn or talk about launching their own coffee roasting business. And if you want to know more about that, just go to unloosethegoose.com in the show notes of this episode and just say, hey, I want to be in that too. And it'll be probably sometime, mid-December, you think?
Sounds good.
We're going to give it time so you can get there. This came out of a survival podcast thing, so we'll put it on Jack's site. We'll put it here. Make sure you can sign up, and then we will have this webinar for you to decide if you really want to smell smoke in your face every day for hours.
What
For hours.
is your Christmas coffee a special roast, or is it just you're running a Christmas special?
Well,
I'm doing a Christmas
Are you
blend.
just putting the Unleash the Goose?
I'm
logo?
doing a Christmas blend. Brian is doing a Christmas blend.
Okay,
1
cool.
pound of each blend, so it's the Goose blends for
Nice.
Christmas.
All right,
and you
so
can send it to yourself, or you can send it as a gift. I actually handwrite Christmas cards if you want it as a gift.
I want one, but you need to make 19 then.
I want one.
Everybody wants one. Brian and I will talk about if we'll do more than 18 of these. We'll see. We might do double.
You better be selling them for $1,000 a piece at 18. Come on now, make some money.
Then we might. Okay,
$1,000
maybe
each.
36. We gotta talk off
$1,000 each. But if you use Bitcoin, it's only
smart.
$50.
He's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well,
Ooh, okay.
So
Very
that
interesting.
can be
Maybe
found
the
at
other-
foodforestfarms.com or hollowroast.com on Monday, right?
on Monday.
Yep.
Badass.
On
If you
Monday.
want-
Only first 18 responders only.
Yeah. And then we're sold out. It ships when it ships.
Boom.
Boom.
It'll be there for
Boom.
Stay
Christmas.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted.
Stay tuned for the New Year's blend.
That's right.
Oh,
Wow.
that's good.
Then after that,
Great idea.
stay tuned for Martin
Well,
Luther
that
King
would
Day
be-
blend.
You might have earned it in 19th
No.
No.
St. Patty's Day, man. It's the green.
Right.
I thought
Okay.
in January it was going to be the food church blend.
That's right.
Ah.
Because you're launching the
Okay.
food church.
We need
Very
a
nice.
January holiday.
Going to be the food church blend.
Exactly.
Get ready. Only
Lots of
18.
food.
I'm just kidding.
Only 18 every time.
All right, guys. Well, this has been episode 62 of Unloose the Goose, taking action. If you want to talk with us or connect with us, go to unloosethegoose.com or join us on Telegram or MeWe or any of the other social networks. We look forward to hearing what you have to say. Honk, honk.
Honk honk.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble honk.
Up in North